It seems that every other day another vehicle is added to the ever-expanding SUV market. But the Kia Sportage, well, that's actually been around for quite a while. Now, its latest generation aims to take the crown of a very competitive segment. So welcome to the new Kia Sportage, the latest iteration of a car that's always been championed for good value and of course that 7-year, 100,000 mile warranty that Kia offer. Ultimately, I think SUVs are probably the vainest of all the car types because, well, it's the visuals that really sell them, and I think this latest Sportage looks great. It keeps its nice, compact, short front and rear proportions, but adds these beautiful domed, sort of swooping lights that wrap themselves around and really integrate into the sculpture of the front end. The Tiger Nose grille returns for that distinctive Kia look. It's a nice blend of modern architecture and grown-up design. There's a good range of engines available for the Sportage that kicks off with a 1 litre, but we've got the 1.6 diesel engine in here with 134 brake horsepower. Now there's also front and all-wheel drive available, but generally speaking, most people, front-wheel drive will facilitate all you need and retain good fuel economy. Speaking of, this 1.6 claims 47 mpg combined, but actually in testing we found it to do just over 50 miles to the gallon, so bettering official figures. The engine itself has plenty of torque with 300 Nm coming on song at about 2000 RPM, and yeah, 134 brake horsepower is certainly enough for the vehicle to be clipping along. It's maybe not the most potent engine in the range, it can be a bit gurgly and noisy under hard acceleration, but generally speaking it's a good cruiser once up to speed. Now the engine in this car is paired with a 6-speed manual transmission, and quite interestingly I've been running a Kia Proceed with the same drivetrain effectively for the past 6 months, and I actually think the gearbox feels a little slicker in this. There's less play in it, it's a bit more direct, and it's got a good weight to it. I actually quite like using it. In terms of handling, it's certainly not the most engaging vehicle in its class. The steering doesn't have very much in the way of feedback, and there's some body roll about the places you might expect for a tall vehicle. But I will say the steering is very precise, and the nose is keen to turn in should the mood take you. Moving on to more sensible subjects such as the interior, this very Kia Sportage is in 2 grade, which is on the lower end of the spectrum of the trim levels, but I have to say it comes really well equipped. Stuff like dual zone climate control, heated seats, 7-inch touchscreen, reversing camera, cruise control, speed limiter. It actually is absolutely packed in here. The 7-inch display is maybe a little small by today's standards, but there is a larger 8-inch option as you walk your way up the trim levels, and all of them come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. All occupants benefit from that nice high driving position that you get in SUVs, and the seating's actually pretty comfortable. I would say that maybe a little more lower back support would be nice, but generally speaking, it's a good place to perch yourself for a couple of hours on a motorway journey. In the rear, there's loads of head and legroom for the outermost passengers, meaning that they can really stretch out back there, though there is a transmission hump that the middle passenger has to contend with. A redeeming feature is certainly the fact that the rear seats recline, which is something that's quite unusual in this class, certainly at this trim level. 491 litres of boot space is at your disposal, and whilst not class leading, it's actually larger than that of the very popular Nissan Qashqai. The ride in this Sportage is actually pretty costing as it soaks up the vast majority of lumps and bumps, with very few sort of shuddering through the cabin at any given point. But I think that's largely to do with the sensibly sized 17-inch alloy wheels. I think as you start to move up the sizes, you're going to start getting some more road imperfections in the cabin. Personally, I think the Kia Sportage is a really good all-rounder, offering good levels of space, nice build quality, plenty of durability in the cabin, which is ideal for family life, and a really positive drivetrain that offers respectable fuel economy. It still represents that great value for money, and of course that 7-year Kia warranty is a big attraction for potential buyers. If you're interested in the new Kia Sportage, the range starts at £20,670.